This tutorial is regarding tables in SQL. Tables are called as the true heart of SQL, right? Why the true heart? Because we consistently works with the tables and the data inside the tables within a given database. That means we have the empty shell of a database or maybe multiple empty shells of database. What I have said, I am repeating it. So tables are basically the true heart of SQL. Why? Because we work with tables consistently and the data inside the tables, and these tables are present within the databases. So we have empty shell of databases, or we can have maybe multiple empty shells of databases. That means we have, you can consider databases as this box, and these databases are as of now empty. These are databases, and if you see, we don't have anything inside this database. So we have nothing in them. Tables are what we need to put in. So in this particular database we will be putting some tables, right? As you can consider table 1, we can consider single table or as many as tables with the related data, right? We can have table 2, then we would be having table 3. So we would be having multiple tables inside these databases and till table n, right? So initially database was the empty shell, and we have put tables into this database. So database is really just a bunch of tables, and these tables holds the data, right? We are talking about relational databases or SQL type databases. So what this kind of databases? Relational or SQL type database, right? Tables describe the format and the shape of our data. Technical definition of a table is a collection of related data held in a structured format within a database. So technically in relational or SQL databases we have table in a structured format, right? And we have headers of each tables as columns. So for example, I am taking an example of a table, right? Example of a table, let's call it as table 1, and let me name this table as cats table, and as the structure wise this table will be having the headers, and these headers will be the column names, right? So here I will be defining the headers. So let's say uh, I have cats table. So what we can define the name of the cat, right? We can define the breed of the cat, and we can define the age of the cat, right? So let's say name will be uh, Rocket, and this will be a maybe Persian cat, and the age may be 3 years. Then we have maybe this is the first value. Then secondly we will be having the name as Monty, name of the cat. Then it would be maybe for this breed, and age maybe 2 years. Then we can have one more entry, maybe Blue, and it would be Scotty Fold, and maybe 5 years old. So what is this happening here? For this particular let me just change the so what is all happening here? If you see this name, breed and age, these three are the column names we have. column names, and these column names are called as headers, right? And if we call about these particular, this complete row, a column name, rocket, monty value, so that means this is a header name, and name has these values rocket, monty and blue. This is the column, right? And if we talk about this horizontal values, uh, maybe this particular way, rocket, Persian and 3, this is the row, that is horizontal, and we call it as two rows, we or call it as records, right? And for columns we may call fields, not two columns, but the column headers we can call it as field names, right? The horizontal records or the data, this one, we are the actual entries or the actual data in the table. So to create a empty table with the structure is the first step, and the second step is to insert the data inside the table. Now if you see, this particular name will be having some kind of type, right? So for example, for this particular column we will see that it will always the string. It cannot be, name cannot be 1 or 2 or 3, right? These cannot be names, so it will always be the string type, right? This breed will be always similarly, it cannot be 1 or 2 or 3, it cannot be the numeric one, or it cannot be something date 02042027, so it cannot be date, right? It would, the breed will also be the string, right? Similarly, the age will also be a always be a number. It would be 1 year, or maybe 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, or maybe it would be 10 years. It cannot be something like 10 in written format, or maybe it cannot be, uh, it cannot be A or B, so it cannot be in the string format, right? So it will always be numeric. So this particular definition, like what column names and what is the definition of that column name, what type of column it would be, so this comes all in the structure of the table. And this particular structure what I have shown you is the visual for the table. It is not stored this way, it is stored as some compressed thing that looks nothing like human readable, but it will be displayed in this table format if we display or if we query it in our database. So what how to define this particular table with such kind of types, we will be discussing further, and we will be creating tables and inserting the data into it, and many more we will be doing. So stay tuned to the channel and this playlist for further tutorials.